Is vibe coding an overhyped trend or a real threat to your job security? Vibe coding is an AI-first approach to software development. Instead of meticulously structuring code, debugging line by line, and sweating over syntax, developers now interact with AI models like ChatGPT, Deepseek, and Claude to generate and refine their code. This is a step further forwards than just copying your bugs into a model and asking it to fix them. With vibe coding, you are using language to text processing, for example, to converse what you want the model to do, which acts as the programmer in building your application.
Write a Python script which can connect to our intranet database, pull off the latest data, and write a daily report. Format this in PDF and output it to the local file system.
The phrase code is liquid sums it up quite nicely. The process is fluid, dynamic, and intuitive. Instead of rigidly constructing code, you vibe with it, guiding it in a collaborative workflow. Sounds amazing, right? Well, it is, and it's about to get a whole lot better. Now, before you fire up Cursor and start calling yourself a project manager, let's break down what vibe coding does well. Rapid prototyping. If you need to build something simple, fast, like a startup MVP, a quick data pipeline, or a small web app, the AI we have today excels at this type of work. In the future, imagine launching a startup over the weekend without hiring a single developer. The front end, back end, payment gateway, customer support, it's all going to be built for you, deployed and launched. That's what vibe coding makes possible. People have already built fully functional web apps with database integrated backends without knowing how to code. AI tools let you go from idea to execution very quickly, taking the move fast and break things to the next level.
We at Meta, as well as the other companies that are basically working on this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that you have at your company that can write code.
Increased productivity. For experienced developers who could write a program from scratch anyway, AI minimizes the cognitive overhead. Forget typing boilerplate functions or handling repetitive syntax. AI takes care of the NatSpec documentation that you hate doing anyway. This leaves the developer to act in a broader, more of a curator type role. Ever felt like coding is 25% typing, 25% thinking, and 50% browsing Stack Overflow? Well, what if AI could handle the typing and some of the thinking so that you can focus on what really matters? In a few years' time, a single CTO or even a non-technical founder will be able to leverage AI systems to do the work of a team of front-end and back-end devs. This is going to make startups a lot less nerdy, for better or for worse. Creative experimentation. Vibe coding is a great way for bouncing ideas around, tweaking existing products, and generally causing chaos within a code repository. You just throw out an idea and let AI generate a solution, and if it doesn't work, you tweak the prompt and regenerate. Or spend your time having a full argument with the model about tabs and spaces. In the same way we can use LLMs to brainstorm titles for YouTube, we can bounce ideas for sections within an app or call to action buttons on a landing page. This kind of exploratory work is well suited to large language models. Lower barrier to entry. Non-coders can now build things, whether that's good or bad depends on how much you value your job security, and we'll get to that. But the point is, AI makes software development way more accessible. It's like no-code platforms, but with optional code and being slightly less useless. But here's the thing, just because AI can write code doesn't mean that it writes good code all the time. Let's talk about why AI isn't perfect. Hallucinations. Large language models don't know how to code. They predict code based on their training data. It will generate a solution that looks right, but sometimes it's just complete nonsense. The current models are still a long way from AGI where it would have some level of common sense. Ask AI to write a complex function and it might produce something that works, or it might summon a daemon from the depths of an NPM library that never needed included in the first place. When it goes wrong or bloats your applications, debugging AI-generated spaghetti code can become an absolute nightmare. Debugging and maintenance. Eagleson's Law. Any code of your own that you haven't looked at for 6 months or more might as well be written by someone else. If you've ever been in that situation where you've had to try and fix a code base that no longer makes any sense, or if you're an expert in deciphering ancient hieroglyphics, then you might be well suited to debugging AI-generated code. At its worst, this is like trying to get your head around code written by someone that you hate in a foreign language. Screaming curses at Sam Altman while keyboards are getting launched out the window is just not the vibe that we were promised. Even worse, what if it sort of works but has subtle errors? How do you catch them before they cause significant problems? Sure, you can get the AI model to generate unit tests and whatnot, but it's still a regular issue given the current model capabilities. The complexity ceiling. Vibe coding excels at small projects and scripting tasks, but things break down if you're working on a complex, niche, or frontier project. If you're building something new that hasn't been done before, or using an unusual programming language or framework, the model doesn't have any training data to base its response on. The result is a less than compelling experience where you end up just doing it yourself. Team collaboration. The challenges discussed are compounded when there is a team working on a larger code base. The different devs are working with isolated models which aren't syncing with each other or their users' goals. Many organizations are restricting the use of AI for developers currently, but to some degree it's just slowing down an inevitable future. So where does this all go? We're heading towards a world where AI isn't just assisting coding, it's doing the coding. Imagine a future where you don't even read the code, it's written in some low-level language you'll never understand, and you just describe what you want and AI figures it out. We're also seeing AI self-improvement loops, where AI writes code, runs it, evaluates performance, and refines it automatically. This is incorporated into hardware containers so that you can build entire applications without needing to deploy anything manually. Now on to the big question, does this kill developer jobs? In our lifetime, will we witness the end of coding as a profession? Vibe coding lowers the barrier to entry. Non-technical people can now build simple software. In the future, they'll be able to build complex software. Founders can prototype without hiring engineers. CTOs can scale products without hiring a team of junior devs. The truth is that demand for developers is going to plummet over the next decade, as models become more advanced and capable. The junior developer role will be first to go, finally confirming that an entry-level job requiring 5 years of experience was just a bad joke all along. There's still going to be some work for senior devs, architects, and engineers who understand systems, security, and large-scale software design. But the truth is we lived through a golden era where developers became billionaires and geeks were celebrated heroes. At least that's how I'm going to tell it to my grandkids. This evolution in how we build software will drive down salaries as supply and demand shifts from a shortage of capable engineers to a surplus of unrequired talent. It's both an exciting time and a terrifying time. If you're a developer, you can't stop the progress, so better to start adapting now and embrace the emergence of AI and vibe coding. What do you think? Will AI replace human coders completely, or is this just another overhyped trend? Drop a comment below, I read every single one. And if you found this useful, then hit the like button to train the algorithm and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the next chapter of emerging technology.